Okay, kids, we are back. This is step 3 in creating our platform game. Now we are on the ball object. This is where we left off. Very nice. As you can see, we've got controls for going left, right, and up, but unfortunately we have no gravity. So that's what we're going to do right now, is we're going to add some gravity. Now, the way we're going to do this is, instead of just adding gravity to the room, we're going to add gravity to the ball, which is going to eventually become our character. And we're going to have that gravity turned on when he's in the air. And then when he hits the ground, when he's standing on the ground, there'll be no gravity. So let's give that a try. We're going to go down to, we're going to create an event. So you're going to click on Add Event, and then you're going to click on Step and Step. Now, the Step event is interesting. What it does is it executes a certain number of times per second for the entire game. It's kind of like if you've ever written another program, it's kind of like putting an infinite loop into your program where this step check is running all the time. So in this step check, we'll be asking the computer to check to see if we're in the air. And if we're in the air, we're going to have gravity. Oh, by the way, let me show you where that's controlled from. If you go back to the room and you go to Settings, you're going to see Speed 30. This refers to how many steps are executed per second in the game. Oh, and by the way, up here, 640 by 40, that's the size of your game. If you wanted to make a nice long game, you could change the width to 1,000 or something, and you could make the game that, whatever size you wanted. Okay, let's go back to the ball object. Okay, so we've got this step thing that's going to be executing. So we're going to put a loop in here, and we're going to check to see if we're in the air. So let's go down to Control. Whenever you're asking questions or doing ifs, if-thens and stuff, all this stuff's in Control. Now, the first thing we're going to do, there's going to be several different things. By the end of this program, we're going to have a bunch of different things in here. So I want to separate them with comments, just so it's easier to remember what the heck these things are. If you see this little yellow thing over here, we're going to grab it and drag it in. And all a comment is it's just there for you, the programmer, to see what the heck this is. The computer ignores it when it sees it. But it's very important to, as I said before, document your game. So we're going to do check whether we're in the air. Cool. Now, let's drag in the check free question. Check empty. And what we're going to do is check to see if there is a block under our feet. And if you remember, we did the XY thing. Y is the vertical axis. And checking one below, you just put a 1 there. And you can see solid. And it is 1 below relative to the position of the ball. Okay, so you check that relative. Okay, so if there's nothing below our feet, then we're going to turn that gravity on. Okay, to do that, let's go up to Move, the Move tab. And you see the little blue arrow going down? That is for setting gravity up. Now, the direction of the gravity is important. This is kind of fun because you could make one of those gravity type games where gravity switched back and forth. But we'll bring up the old high-tech paint, and you can see a circle has 360 degrees. Again, back to school. Sorry, I'm a school teacher. If you wanted to go left, you'd put a 0 in there. If you wanted to go up, you'd put a 90. And all these numbers work. You could put a 45 to go that way, and etc. This is 180. We want to go down. That's going to be 270. And I think 360 works in here too. I think 0 and 360 are the same thing. So anyway, there's our directions. So we're going to make gravity go down. And let's have some light gravity here. Let's set it to half, 0.5. And this is a constant. This is an absolute. So it's not relative to anything. It's just, it'll be 0.5. Cool. Say okay. Okay, so now we have, if there's nothing below our feet, turn on the gravity. Now we're going to go back to control, and again, this is a classic programming thing. You say, if this condition is true, then do this. Kind of like, if I have $10 in my wallet, then I will go to the movies. Else, or if I don't have $10 in my wallet, I'm going to stay home and watch cable. So, in this case, it's going to be if there's nothing below my feet, then there's going to be gravity. Else, if that condition is not true, then we're going to turn gravity off. So let's go back up to move. And here is our little gravity. Drag it in. Excuse me very much. 270. And we'll set gravity to 0. And we'll say OK. Cool. Now, there's one more thing we need to do. When that ball is traveling down, it gets faster and faster, and we want to make sure that ball never reaches a speed more than 12. If it does, it might be able to lodge itself into the ground. So we're going to set up another condition here to make sure the gravity is not going too fast for us. So let's go back into control and drag the comment in. And we're going to limit the speed of gravity. That's not a very good. Let's say limit the vertical gravity. Okay, so we're setting a speed limit for gravity. If you can do such a thing. Well, in a game you can. Okay, so now we're going to be dragging in this little stop sign VAR. What this is we're testing this thing called a variable. And in the game, a variable that could be anything. Could be the speed you're going in any direction. It could be your location. There's all these different numbers and things calculating, what's going on in the game. What we're going to be testing is the vertical speed. The variable for that is VSPEED, vspeed. Make sure you do not put any capitals, no spaces, no underscores. Keep everything lowercase. Otherwise, you're going to get an error. So this is the speed we're going in a vertical direction. Okay. We do not want that speed to be greater than 12. Okay, so we're going to change this operation to larger than. So this says, if the vertical speed is larger than 12, then let's go to move and drag in this is for setting your vertical speed. Then we'll set the vertical speed to 12. Okay, so that way we can't go any faster than 12. Okay, say okay to that. And we are looking good now. Okay, so we've got gravity set up. So let's test this thing, see how it works. La 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 la. Played any good games lately? All right, here we go. Left, right. Okay, I'm going up. Whoa! Look at that. Ah! Okay, did you see that? We went up. Gravity pulled us down, but then we just ignored all the blocks, and that is because we haven't set up any collisions with the blocks. We need to set up what happens when we collide with the block, and we will do that next. Okay, let's save our game and take a break. I need a drink or something, so I'll be back in a few.